You look at someone for less than a second. Before they speak, before they smile, before they tell you anything about themselves, your brain has already started building a story. It feels effortless, it feels natural, but the real answer is far stranger. A face is one of the first puzzles your brain ever learned to solve. Long before cities, phones, or even written language, your ancestors depended on reading other people quickly. A delayed decision could mean trusting the wrong person or missing an opportunity to cooperate. Speed mattered more than perfection. Today, that ancient system is still running. Every stranger you pass activates tiny mental shortcuts that compare what you see with countless faces you've encountered before. Psychologists call these rapid evaluations thin slice judgments. They happen almost instantly, often before you're consciously aware of them. Research by Alexander Todorov and colleagues has shown that people form impressions of trustworthiness, competence, and dominance from faces in just fractions of a second. Those impressions can feel surprisingly convincing, even when they are completely wrong. Your brain is not trying to discover the truth. It is trying to predict what might happen next. Imagine walking alone through a forest thousands of years ago. Every unfamiliar face could represent danger, friendship, competition, or help. Waiting for certainty was a luxury evolution rarely rewarded. Fast guesses, even imperfect ones, often offered a survival advantage. The problem is that the modern world is different. The same mental machinery now judges classmates, coworkers, interviewers, customers, and complete strangers online. The environment changed much faster than the brain itself. Daniel Kahneman described this kind of rapid thinking as System 1. Fast, automatic, and effortless. It is incredibly useful, but it also makes predictable mistakes. When you feel that someone just looks trustworthy, that feeling may come from an ancient shortcut rather than reliable evidence. Culture also shapes these judgments. The faces you grow up around become your mental reference points. Familiar expressions feel easier to process, and your brain often mistakes familiarity for safety. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect. Repeated exposure can make almost anything feel more comfortable, including faces. This is one reason first impressions are so powerful. They are built from biology, experience, and culture all working together in a fraction of a second. But there is another twist. People know they are being judged. They learn to smile in photographs, maintain eye contact, and control expressions because they understand that faces influence perception. A single expression can completely change how another person interprets the same face. That means first impressions are a conversation between two brains, each using ancient shortcuts while trying to understand the other. Neuroscientists have found that regions such as the fusiform face area specialize in recognizing faces with remarkable efficiency. Your brain treats faces differently from almost every other object you see. It searches for patterns immediately, even when those patterns do not exist. That is why people sometimes see faces in clouds, toast, or the front of a car. Your brain would rather mistakenly detect a face than fail to notice a real one. The next time you catch yourself deciding what someone is like after only a glance, remember that the feeling itself is real, but the conclusion may not be. The stranger standing across from you is far more complicated than your first impression allows. And so are you. Every face carries a story that cannot be read in a second. Yet your brain will keep trying anyway, because it is following rules written long before modern life began. You never noticed how fast you judge a stranger's face. Now you may notice how often your ancient brain speaks before the person ever does.